showtime, baby. Let's give them what they came. It is the most sensational, inspirational, devastatingly dynamic marching music machine known to man. From Main Street to stadium seats, small children point and cling. There goes the band. In France, they say, and when they say that, in Spain, and Mundo Veloso, Tail, it's me. It's on the look they got me. From Wall Street to York Street. From Frisco to Maine, Tokyo to Spain. All around the globe and back again. They know our name. We are
Hey, Tracy T.
under the expertise of
Hey, Heidi. All right, y'all. I just wanted to give y'all a little taste of the Grambling Marching Band. So, good evening, Welcome, beauties and bows. Welcome back to Joyce Vlogs, and we got some delicious tea for you. So, this is part number 2 of the Grambling State University, and we have a special guest tonight. Her name is Dr. Sheila Fobbs, Director of Office of Careers. She is a doctor. Give her her.
Hey, yes.
Great company tonight. So y'all kick back. If please collect your questions and save them for the end of the interview. Here she goes. Your mic is on, Dr. Fobbs. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
And then y'all know we have TC hbcu Queen in the building.
Hey, how are you?
You.
Good evening, Dr. Fobbs.
Good evening, TC.
Okay.
All right.
And
so
Joyce.
I'm going to let Dr. Fobbs go ahead and take over, y'all, so she can let y'all know what all she does at Grambling. Just give us a little history about yourself, Miss Dr. Fobbs.
Okay, I am, as you stated, Dr. Sheila Fobbs. My history started at the Grambling State University. I am an alum of Grambling State University. And I had been away working on several jobs, traveling with my husband and his job, and doing a business which was dealing with the same type of work that I do now. And then upon the return, I talked with the then president, who invited me to come back and continue to enhance the services in the Office of Career Services. And prior to my doing that, I wanted to make sure that wanted to know to make sure that Grambling had the same facilities as any university, and that is any of the PWIs as well as the HBCUs. I wanted our career services to be compatible to theirs. So what I did, I traveled on my own before going to work there and going to some of the major universities that I knew had great career centers. And as a result, I got some great information, and I was able to come back and evaluate the center at Grambling in a better light and know exactly what the center needed. I'm one who believes that anybody at an HBCU can do the same as one that goes to a PWI. So I want my services to be compatible as well. So that's what I did. And our office has the same services that you would find across the country. And we have some unique services that we have, and that was by choice. And that's something that we always want to be a part of the best.
Right. Oh my goodness. Okay,
so I have a quick question, Joyce, if you don't mind. I know the PWIs, Doc. What is the PWI? What does that stand for?
The predominantly white institutions.
Okay. Okay. So,
I got you.
All right. Let me go in and see if we have any questions starting. So, a lot of I had one subscriber the last time when we had Gil Alvarado on. He was saying, or her name was Tessie. Tessie was asking, what's the process for students once they get ready to graduate on finding work? I did a short trailer on you all student or career services for Grambling. So they wanted to know like what are the particulars? What's the percentage of them getting jobs in their career fields, stuff like that.
Since I have been over the center, the number of students to get jobs has increased. Every year we do an annual report and we get our numbers. We have the students, before they get their diplomas, they must take an exit exam, and that comes through our office, and they answer several questions that will let us know where they're going, whether they have jobs in their majors and things of that nature. And the numbers have completely increased. As far as what the process is for our career services, we believe that you should start young working in the Office of Career Services. If you wait until your senior year, it's almost too late. One of the things that students must understand, now companies are looking for more than just a straight A student. They are looking for students that can do the soft skills. That's what we hear from the top companies all the time. They can teach you those hard skills, but what they want is a person that knows how to do those soft skills, like communicate, interact with their peers, know how to work with a team, critical thinkers. Those are the things that they are finding a lot of graduates are lacking. So they're asking us in career services to concentrate on those soft skills. At our university, like I say, I try to get to the freshman classes and get their mindset about career services is important and you should participate. That's very important, because by the time they become juniors and seniors, they will know that they need to do an internship. They will have interacted with those companies at the career fair. Even though they may be a first semester sophomore, you can learn by going to the career fair and asking questions and seeing how the recruiters want you to answer those questions, to just move among them, to see what type of questions, some of the things that they're looking for. They become comfortable if they do that every semester. So by the time they do an interview for their junior years for that internship, then they are comfortable. It becomes second nature to them, because one of the soft skills is it has to do with your body language. And if you are unnerved, you're going to show that when you're doing your interview. And so we want our kids to be ready to move forward as they go through the college life. And that's very important for us. And one thing I need to say too as well, when I got there, I evaluated the type of student that was at the institution at that time. So we had students that had personal issues, and we had to provide personal development, and then we moved them to professional development. A student that has problems with self-esteem, problems with not knowing how to interact with that next student, they are not thinking about putting on a tie or trying to do an interview. So we help work them through and let them know that everybody on this earth has something positive about themselves. And that's one of the first things that I tell them when I do a session. I tell them that if you don't get but one point, get this point: everything starts and ends with you. Your successes, your choices, and everybody has something talented about them. They just got to figure out what it is, hang your hat on it, because God did not put nobody on this earth that didn't have something positive about them. So it's a process that we go through.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a quick question. Dr.
I'm going to try to shorten my answers. I'm just a talker, so I'm going to try to.
We like it. It's good information. Heidi Snowfly says, "Are homeschool kids qualified to attend Grambling State if their SAT scores permit?"
Yes. Yeah. If they have the required diplomas or certificates, then they can come to Grambling. It would be the same as a student that is attending a public school or a private school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That's good to know. I didn't even think to ask that question. Thank you, Heidi. I didn't think about that.
Because that's the one thing about homeschooling now. In order for them to be considered as graduates, they have to have so many hours in order to be certified, in order to get that high school diploma.
Right. Okay, sorry, I had to sneeze. Oh wow. So when Mr. Gil Alvarado came, he talked about Grambling preferring the ACT over the SAT.
Mm-hmm.
And so how is that something you are? Well, that's at the admissions or the beginning, right?
Right. That's at admissions. That's my husband that sneaked in. But that's at the at admissions office, and I think that is so because most of the schools in the area that we're in push the ACT, and most of your different states in the north, the larger cities, they are doing the SAT. And I think that's why at Grambling and around here, these school systems mostly use the ACT.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna read some of the. Go ahead, Tasha.
I was gonna say, Doc, one of the things that we as educators, I guess you could say, grovel with ACT versus SAT, and with the ACT, we have found it to be a little bit more student friendly, culturally neutral. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason. That's one of the reasons why a lot of folks, will sway over to the ACT. Mm-hmm. It's really it's a very objective test. It's not a subjective test.
Right.
And so it's one of those tests that anyone across the board will be able to take it and do well. Well.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I was going to read some of the companies that I see that you all work with.
Yeah.
So it says a list of major companies and organizations that attend Grambling State University career fairs between 2015 and 2019.
Right.
So,
These are the companies that come consistently, that they send a representative consistently. Like we have two major career fairs in the fall and in the spring. Now, and most of these companies come in the fall of the year because that spring career fair is catered to education, which is your school systems, any kind of educational job. Some of them do come back for a second time when they really are trying to get those HBCU students, because HBC is hot right now. So a
yeah.
number of companies are trying to get our students. And so some of these companies will come twice a year, but they do come at least once.
So someone's asking a question. They said,
Joyce, Why don't you read the companies?
okay, all right. So first I see Air Force Global Strike Command, AmeriSafe, Aramark, Central Intelligence Agency,
Yeah,
Century
CIA.
CIA,
Mhm.
CenturyLink, Cleco Corporation, Crest Industries, Dallas Fire and Rescue, Dallas Police Department. Now I gotta stop for a quick second. I heard that you all's criminal justice majors are sought out actually from Grambling.
Yes, that's one of our largest departments, and that's why a lot of federal agencies recruit at Grambling. And we also had a what was called a federal day that came through the Office of Career Services, and at that particular panel, we had every representative from the big federal agencies. We had the FBI, we had Secret Service, we had the one with guns.
Fire, tobacco, and
Yeah, we had them. We had the CIA, and it was amazing how those students were in awe of these people, because a couple of them were retired and they were now going around recruiting. And when they heard the CIA lady make the statement, we had our photographer there, and she stopped and she said, "Please don't take a picture of me." And then that you should see the kids' eyes going from side to side and say, "Oh my God, this is for real. She's really a CIA operative," in other words. And so they became so excited because this lady was on campus and she did an information session alone after that panel that we did with criminal justice, and it was amazing. But we couldn't take pictures. We couldn't take pictures of her information, and that touched home with them to know that these were serious people.
Yes,
And one message we had to give them too, because some kids didn't want to carry guns, and they told them that you could have a job with them without carrying a gun. You can be an analyst and all of that. One of the things that we have to work with our HBCU students is that when they see the name of a company, if they don't see their major in that name, they back up as if the company is not something for them. But they don't, they forget about that there's the background of that company. Say like Nationwide came to campus, and I would call some students and they would tell me, "Doc, I don't want to sell insurance." Well, they forgot about Nationwide needs marketing. They need mass comm students to write analysts. They need English students to write reports. So we are busy working with that as well. But yeah, we have major companies come for that criminal justice, and mostly it's the federal agencies. A lot of police departments come, and we had LAPD there Monday, and they came and they even did the physical test. They did the written test, the physical test, and then they left and went to another location, and they saw about 200 students, and they were telling them that this is not about patrol. This is about being a forensic scientist, working in the back of the police department. And the kids
CSI,
didn't think
criminal
of that.
scene,
Yeah, they didn't
criminal.
think of that.
Yeah,
So
CSIs are real, and they make really good money. I know a lady that moved from New Orleans during the Katrina thing, and she moved to Frisco, Texas. Her husband was, they were both NOLA police officers, but she ended up being CSI, and her husband ended up on the Dallas police force. So yeah, it really works.
yeah,
I mean,
it does. It does. And she told them they could make, with a college degree, you can start out making $80,000 or $90,000. Of course, in California, the living is higher, but for a college student in the South, hearing that, that's really a lot of money for them. So they come in and out all of the time.
I have a question by Frances Thibodeau. She says, are there any online courses available and grants that I can apply and receive a degree? I was there 1994 through 96. I was on full scholarship and studied nursing. Can my transcript be credited?
It depends on, so that I take it that she didn't graduate?
Miss Frances, did you graduate? I'll wait for her to answer.
Okay, because it takes your grades are good up for so many years. I think 10 years. I'm not sure. I think it's 10 years. And but what she can do is get the registrar's office to evaluate her transcript coupled with the Department of Nursing, and they can let her know what is still used. But was she at Grambling when she took those courses?
Yeah, she said she was at Grambling.
Okay, yeah. If they're not too old, she can possibly use them in the nursing department. And the nursing department has opened back up again, so they are operable again. So she might want to call the nursing department, and they will evaluate her transcript to let her know.
Okay. Let me read a couple of more of these companies. So I see Dine Brands, IHOP and Applebee's, Eli Lilly and Company, Enterprise, FBI, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, Graphic Packing International, Hewlett Packard, Houston Police Department, IBM, Louisiana State Police, McCormick and Company, Murphy Oil, National Wildlife Federation, Nationwide Insurance, Procter and Gamble, Schlumberger, Sherwin-Williams, Toyota. Here we go. U.S. Census Bureau. We just actually did a interview with the Census Bureau here recently, so they're on the all's list. Let's see what else. The Department of Justice Drug Enforcement Agency.
That's who the one. Oh, DEA is one. That's the one. Okay. I forgot too. They come to campus as well.
Okay. U.S. Peace Corps. Let's see who else. United Healthcare, United States Secret Service, USAA. And that's for us veterans. It doesn't matter what branch, they support us all. The USDA, Verizon Wireless, Walgreens, and Walmart.
Yeah, those are they come consistently.
Okay.
I have a question for Doc. Doc, I wanted to just ask you, foster children. I know that there's a major push. We've been hearing about, people who are in foster care being able to attend the universities. I don't want to say at no cost, but at low cost. And then there are various grants out there. The Chaffee grant is one of them. How is Grambling in terms of recruiting and doing for that particular population?
Grambling will recruit whoever. But one thing that I've been doing, I went to a meeting and met with it's called the Workforce Agency. They have grants for foster kids where they will assist them with getting into school, or if there's a certain income, they can they will pay for their tuition. And that's something that Grambling uses. They have designated our head registrar is the person that approves those students as far as getting their majors approved so that they can get that money to get in. Now, one thing on a personal note that I want to do something with the students that age out of the foster care system. And rather than dropping them on the street, I want to help them get into a university and find some kind of housing. And that's a way that they can attend school and be in housing as well. And it'll be a win-win situation. That's just something I'm looking at on a personal note, that I might resign, quit work, and do that. But it's right now they're using the state's fees for getting those students approved, and that agency pays for the tuition. It's not a large number that is doing it, because a lot of kids don't even know about the program. But your PWIs are using those programs. But it's just getting the information out to our kids and getting them processed. And the process can be slow because the state has not hired enough people that can get that paperwork done. So sometimes it's way in the middle of the semester before a student knows whether they qualify. But it is doable.
Oh, I've never heard of that before. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
To continue with Miss Frances Thibodeau, she said, no, ma'am, she did not graduate.
I didn't think so.
She became ill and her parents had to withdraw her.
Oh, wow.
So tell her to call Dr. Meg Brown, MEG Brown, BROWN, who is the head of that department. Explain her situation to her and tell her to she would like to have her transcript evaluated for readmittance, and she will gladly do it.
Okay, I did put Dr. Meg Brown in the chat. Thank you so much. That's good information. Good information. Okay. So let's see.
I have a question for Doc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's ask Doc. Number one, Doc, where are you from?
My home is West Monroe, Louisiana. I'm a Southern girl.
Oh,
Okay.
my
You
stars.
can tell. Can't you tell?
I can tell. Listen, I can tell. It's something about that Louisiana swag. Yeah. You know why I ask you that, Doc? Because we have, as you can see, Joyce is a content creator. She has her vlog and she's doing her, various things in terms of, informing people about, the things that she's passionate about. But we have other content creators that are also in and around our sector here. And they're from the Louisiana area. And they are definitely, you all are very different, very unique. It's that Louisiana thing, the Kay Summers, the Sean Bradleys, you have the Lady Nikas, you have several that are from this particular area. And they're very, very supportive and real passionate about their Louisiana roots. So
okay.
When I talked to you over the phone, I said, wow, I can hear it. Is it in the gumbo? What is it? You know what I'm saying? What is it?
You felt like you've been knowing me for a long time, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's
And you have a doctorate degree. What is that degree in?
it's in higher ed policy and administration.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I went back to school. My students has always been a passion of mine. You can tell I care about my students.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons why I went back to grad school, my VP at the time told me if I didn't go back to grad school, he was going to fire me because I would be a great administrator. But I told him at that time I had half of the family budget and I just couldn't quit work and for my family to continue. So I kept working and I finally found a fellowship that would match my salary and paid for my tuition, gave me a monthly stipend, and it worked. And I went to the university and did the tour. Of course, it was University of Kentucky, and they only had 8% of us at the university. So they were mandated to get us in, but how they did it, they did not water down their program like a lot of other universities did. It was the same program, and we had to have the GRE score. We had to be able to manage the work in order to get through it. And we did, and we did it on our own without any help because they purposely didn't help us with the processes and things of that nature. And we did it. And as a result, the program is still going on. So I was able to finish it. And when I got the news, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So then I had to wait a semester and then come back. And I thought they were done with me. And they called me back and say, Doc, if you, I mean, not Doc, but Sheila, if you still want to come, we are really impressed with you. And come on. I say, okay, what the heck? And I think it was just a God sent because everything that I needed just went in place. I took my baby that I had, the nurseries first nursery I went to, one of the workers there needed some extra change. She would be my night babysitter because I was in class at night. And she fed her for dinner, and everything just worked out. The apartment was a new apartment, 1 bedroom that was just built. Everything worked out, so I was supposed to do it, and
wow.
But really, this is my personality. I don't know of nobody I don't talk to. A lot of people don't feel that I have a doctorate degree because I clown so much, but it's not, you don't, the degree, the title don't make you. It's you doing the work that's important. And that's just the way I feel.
Thank you for saying that. You're really down to earth to be such an educated woman, though. You really are.
Yeah, I get that all the time. I get that all the time.
That's a blessing.
Are you in a sorority, Doc?
I am. I'm AKA.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I take it you are Delta?
No, I'm not.
Well, why you ask me that?
Well, I figured you were an AKA.
Why? Believe it or not, some of my best friends were Deltas. For real.
Well, I was at North Carolina A&T, so I was in the band, so I pledged the band.
Really? Okay. Well, I see. I told you we used to be at North Carolina A&T. I used to work with Dr. Ford in the Center for Excellence.
Absolutely. That was my chancellor when I was there.
Ford?
Yes.
Tracy Ford?
Yes.
Tracy was the chancellor at A&T?
You said Dr. Ford?
No, Ford, F-O-R-D.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Dr. Ford was F-O-R-T-E.
Okay, no. Okay. Yeah, we were brought there by, I can't think of the chancellor's name. He had freckles. And then he left 4 months after. He hired my husband, and boy, was that a nightmare. But y'all got a beautiful campus, and y'all alums are something else. Y'all travel and pay your money. I admire y'all alum, and I told you got a fantastic chancellor there now. and
Yes.
his wife is my Sarah. So y'all
Okay.
doing great things there.
Excellent. You know what, Doc? You said something, and Joyce, then I'm going to just finish with this. You said something when we spoke, and you said that Donald Trump has helped out HBCUs.
No, I said that the White House initiative. He didn't start that White House initiative.
Right.
You might have thought I was talking about him when I said White House initiative, but he didn't start that. Obama started that. Let me make that correct. It was Obama who started the White House initiative. That's what really put HBCUs back on top, and where everybody is paying attention, where it's got all the companies running to the HBCUs because of that White House initiative.
Don't you think? Don't you think though that with the 46 minus one in office, that we have had a really a nice hike and increase in our enrollment?
Exactly. We have. And it's all because they are recognizing the need for the HBCUs. At first, it wasn't emphasized. Nobody was ever talking about HBCUs. And now those students, those parents who think everything white is better, is now realizing that when they send their child there, they're transferring back to that HBCU because they're getting more than academics. And a lot of people are recognizing and seeing that success comes with enjoying who you are. And that's what people got to understand. And you got a lot of parents realizing that, because I used to argue with a lot of them who thought that, well, no, I want her to get a good education. And just like being honest, my daughter, I told her she have been, in order to get to the better schools, she has been in predominantly white situations, elementary on up. But for some reason, when she got to college, she told me she wanted to go to an HBCU. I didn't say anything about that. And I told her, well, if we go to an HBCU, we gotta make sure it has the major you want, and it has to be academically sound. And that's all I said. And she researched the universities with the major, and she graduated. She went to Howard and graduated. So there are some good things. I believe in HBCU. I'm a product of HBCUs.
That's right.
You know, we get a kind of inner strength that you don't get at the PWIs.
It's that grit, Doc. It's that grit.
Yeah, we are accustomed to problems and struggles. We're not gonna go kill ourselves because we deal with it every day. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You said you keep it 100, Doc.
Yeah, that's who I am. People can tell you, they will tell you, if you want the truth, ask Doc. She might not say it the way you like it, but she'll tell you the truth.
Oh my goodness, that's so. When you said that, I looked at TC. She was like,
"I'm sorry, I'm kidding."
No, I like it. Francis Thibodeau says, "Thank you, Dr. Fobbs, for your input and referrals." She says, "Can I take online courses from GCU? Are there grants and scholarships for the disabled?"
I'm not sure about the grants and scholarships. You might have to ask Alvarado that, but there are online courses in the various departments, and I can't list what courses there are, but there are some online classes. Most departments have online classes.
Sir Johnny Mack says, that statement of the day: success starts with you being happy with who you are.
Oh, okay. Tell her thanks.
Thank you, Johnny Mack and Miss Thibodeau.
I wanted to ask you a question, Dr. Fobbs. So when you graduated high school, did you already know that you were going to college, or was that something?
Yeah, that was a given in my family. Everybody in my family, on my dad's side, is educated. Only one cousin who was in a car wreck did not go to college. But that's something my grandmother preached, and then the children preach. All of us, when it comes to education, that is an expectation. It's a given. And when at high school graduation, everybody travel, fly in from wherever we're gonna go to that we're showing the importance of it. When it comes to college, the same thing. We believe in education. It starts there. And in my household with my children, as they don't have to get as much as I did, but I told them at least one degree is required, and then you can make your decision for the second one.
Okay. Okay. So when you went to college, did you already have your mind set on your major, or did you have to go through
I actually let my mom make my decide on the major, because she was worried about having income and getting a job. But I wanted to be a performer, and she said, "You're going to be hungry trying to perform." And so I was a dancer, and those Arkesis girls that you see out front of the band, I was one of those. And so I wanted to perform. I could sing and all of that. So I went to school for business administration, and it just wasn't me. It was too rigid. I'm a people person.
Right.
And so I should have started in liberal arts. And then, but after I got that business administration degree, I flipped over to liberal arts and got degrees in sociology. I love sociology, social work, psychology. And then I did some additional work, students personnel services. I got 30 plus, and then I went head on and got the degree in higher ed administration. But if I tell students now to do what you're passionate about, I try to get them to take this what's called the Focus 2 exam, and it's not a test. It's finding out what you like to do, finding out about self and what you're passionate about. Because research has shown that when you love what you do, you will be successful at it. And that's why I'm preaching every day. Take this Focus 2, find out if you really love it before you decide on that major. Because I was one of those who spent 4 years, walked across the stage with a business administrative degree, and was bored throughout just doing accounting and all that. I hated that stuff. It was too rigid. So I could master it, but I still just didn't like it. And as a result,
I was talking to TC about that. I said a lot of students, when they first go in, they don't exactly know what their major.
And that's really prevalent, because a lot of kids at Grambling don't have that parent that take them around to get experiences to figure out what they want to do. See, one of the tasks of that parent is they give the kid experiences so they can kind of figure out what they want to do. But a lot of our kids don't have that luxury, because they either from one parent household, foster kids, or they don't, parents are busy trying to work. They don't think of that. And so they come to our school mostly undecided. Okay, well, I think I'll just do business. And they can't even do math. And it's just, and so they go 2 years in the wrong major, where we as educators need to realize what kids we have, help them by giving them what they need, let them do an assessment to see what it is they like, and then help them make that decision. I have problems with some schools just let the kid decide, okay, when they get there for orientation, what major you're going to do, so we'll know where to send you. Let me think. And they trying to think right then. And that's not a good job.
So, okay, now I have 3 children. I have a 20-year-old who just graduated from cosmetology school. My second daughter is she's a military wife. And then I have my son, who's the baby. And all he thinks about is football. But I've challenged him and argued at the same time for him to become a Supreme Court justice because he loves to argue with me. But that's not something he wants to do. But we were talking, how do I, being a parent and him getting ready to go to college, my second daughter, my baby girl, she wants to be a veterinarian. So those two are okay.
Mhm.
It's the son that I have to try and help him figure out what he's good at and what direction he should go.
Get research. Research. There are speakers. The NBA has speakers that, and I'm pretty sure NFL has speakers that will come around and talk to males about careers. That's a lot. That's not that idea is nothing new. And they can talk to them about having a second choice. That's one thing. All of my boys were athletes. My two sons were athletes.
Mhm.
And I told them they always had to have a plan B. Well,
Right.
the one that's the head coach at Grambling now, he states that he didn't believe in plan B because that meant that you wasn't going to work as hard for plan A. But his plan B was to coach like his dad. And so that's what both of my sons did. They were required to get that college degree. But if you naturally, they wanted to play pro, but their plan B was you had to have in your mind what your plan B was going to be. And so they both became coaches like their dad was. And they enjoy that. They enjoy the game. And that's what they enjoy doing. Now, my oldest son started off teaching at a middle school. And he finally came to me and say, Mom, I see why my coaches were sorry teachers in school because I don't want to do this. And he say, I'm going to go ahead on and give up this check and be a grad assistant and go on and get a coaching job because I don't want to cripple these kids because I'm not going to give no tests. I'm not going to check no papers. And I would be crippling the kids. And that's what he did. He gave up a $60,000 job to go to $10,000 a year as a grad assistant because he was trying to go the coaching route. But get him around. When you hear somebody speaking, a sports figure speaking, nowadays a lot of those professional agencies are bringing in speakers to talk to guys about life after football and in case you don't make football. And that's a conversation he needs to hear because all players want to be football players, but it's only 2 or 3% that get to go to NFL. And so he needs to realize that and just put on his mind. And when you say to him, okay, you want to be a football player, but mommy needs you to also have a plan B. You already know that if he's not that good, he's not going to get to pro, but you will have put on his mind about the second thing. Help him think about something else he wants to do or he likes to do. And by all means, get him to take that Focus 2 exam. It's not an exam. Don't call it an exam. Tell him, go to a university near you and ask them, do y'all have the Focus 2 exam? Check in like the first year experiences areas or your career centers. They may have it as well. And let him sit there and take it and find out what he's really passionate about. And that can be the plan B, what he's probably going to do.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Because
what about the military wife? What is her career?
She wants to be a veterinarian.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if she wants to be a homemaker. Okay, good. I always want us to be able to stand on our own feet.
Right. And I encourage the girls, even though she got married young, she turned 18 in January and got married in July.
I did too.
You did? Okay. Me and her father actually married very young too. But I did encourage them to take a different route and not have kids or get married in as soon as they got out of school, so that they can have the first years being a young adult to have fun and
Right.
experience life before you have to buckle down and be a parent.
Boy, that's something we have in common. That's exactly what I did as well, because that's the one thing I missed. Working, having an apartment, having your own apartment,
Mm-hmm.
having dates come over, you having a glass of wine, and I just missed that part. But
Mm-hmm.
it's over.
Right. How can you and your husband can
You
still
see, you
stay
looking at me like I don't believe this woman.
You know what? I don't believe. I don't believe it's over because I'm just saying. I know you have some dates. Don't get it because homeboy came in there. He was trying to figure out what was going on. So I know.
He was trying to see what to eat, and he saw this plate in here, and he was trying to see if that was his.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good information. Does anyone else have any questions? We got about 9 minutes before we close down this interview. Please, Dr. Fob, please come back.
Ah.
Let us interview with you again about something, just as long as we get to talk to you.
Well, I do workshops for women too, so we need to have a conversation about women.
Yes,
and themselves and loving on themselves and relationships between male and females. I've been married for 47 years to the same guy, looking at the same face. So I can tell you a thing or two about relationships and how you should behave and how you should love yourself. So I can come back and talk about that.
Well, we like to have those discussions, unfortunately, but fortunately, I just got out of an abusive relationship. But I got out of it, and that's one of the things that we're having discussions on my channel about, and just trying to build up women,
right,
so that we can feel good enough about ourselves not to go through some of the things that I've experienced. I don't want my girls to go through it, or for my son to see it, because they feel a certain kind of way about things that happen to their mother. So, oh yeah, definitely, we'll have you back on. I'm trying to hold up my little panel right here. I'll be right back. TC talk. I gotta fix this.
Oh, okay. The Dr. Fobbs. The career services. When Gil was on, he talked about how to get into Grambling. And I look at this part too with you as how do you get out of Grambling?
You must apply yourself. Even though there is a social life there, you still must take care of the academics. You still must think independently, because a lot of people feel that you're supposed to party and not do your work, but you are paying dollars. And are you getting a lot of loans that you're going to have to pay back? The feds do not play when it comes to their money. So it's very important that you understand that and work. It's okay to have fun. That's part of what college is about. Years ago, college was about finding that significant other. Certainly now some of that is the case, but back in the day, girls were sent there by their parents for that purpose. But that's not the way it is now. And girls need to think about being independent of their own and being able to take care of yourself. You might not have to work, but you need to be able to. And they need to understand that. So you got to get that degree. Don't waste time, because if you're there for a social life, then you're not going to get the best guys anyway. They want somebody with something that to put on their arm. They don't want that person that's partying all the time. That's how you get out of Grambling.
All right.
Right, right, right. I enjoyed speaking with you, Dr. Fob,
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. It has been great having being on your show. I appreciate you talking up Grambling State University because we have some great things going on there, and hopefully some of the students will come.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually trying to talk to. I have an aunt that works for the school system here, and I'm trying to take on Gil Alvarado's challenge to get
Yes.
9 schools so that he can come up here and talk to these students,
Mm-hmm.
private or public schools. So I'm working on that part because I really want my son to look at Grambling because he wants to get
Uh-huh.
something else. So yeah,
Yeah.
if I can get Alvarado up here, then I can bring my son up here, even though he lives in Georgia, and maybe I can turn,
What part
teach
of Georgia? Atlanta?
Marietta.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's pretty there.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, I'm headed out to Dallas in a minute. But it has been great talking to you guys.
thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Five. You
you.
have a great rest of your evening.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
bye.
Bye, Miss TC.
All right.
Oh my God.
Wow. That was so cool. She was so cool and so down to earth.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed when Gil was here too. All right, y'all. We're gonna rock it out of here with Grambling's
That's
band.
right.
Let's see. Let me share my screen and then we'll
We might even visit a homecoming, Joyce.
I know. Man, that's so
We might be
cool.
visiting a homecoming. Oh, an HBCU real homecoming. Yes.
All right, thank y'all for coming in. Y'all stay blessed and stay safe. Hold on. Elle said I didn't hear everything, but the part about socializing was all I needed to hear. Laugh aloud. Sis was speaking big fact. Yep. Y'all, thank y'all so much for coming over. Please share this video. And y'all stay blessed and stay safe. I will see y'all soon. All right.